Hey Froggy friends, Kirostyle here, welcome back to Granblue Fantasy Relink. Thank you so much for joining me here on stream today. Psycho Reaper, congratulations on being first. CB, welcome in. And Error-san, thank you so much for following me and being a Froggy friend. Hello, hello. We're back playing some Granblue Fantasy Relink. This game just updated a couple days ago, but we were too busy with Paper Mario, so we're getting to it now. It's the Sandalphon update, the one where they added Sandalphon as a new playable character. Hey Kieran, welcome in, it's good to see you. Hello, hello. So this is version 1.3.1. I know it says here on the screen 1.3.0, but the patch notes are for the 1.3.1. So according to these patch notes, they added Sandalphon, which of course we knew was coming. They added 4 new quests to the game. They are hard level or proud level quests. They added new sigils. They added new trophies, new side quests in Folka, particularly there's 3 of them. They added sigil synthesis. They added photo mode, which a lot of people have been waiting for. In fact, I believe there's a photo mode contest right now that you can enter as well, and I think you win like an acrylic printout of your submission, and one of them is being chosen by the Japanese voice actress for Shiro Kart, so that's kind of cool. They added the map overlay function, which I erroneously thought was in the previous update. They've added it with this update. They added new control schemes. They added on the title screen, you can now click a button to watch the end credits once you beat the game, straight from the title screen. You can now lock sigils and write stones directly from town services and results screens. That's really nice quality of life. You can now directly check trait details from the details screen of weapons, sigils, and write stones, also very nice quality of life. Added the ability to claim all unlocked trophy rewards at once from the trophy screen in Lyria's journal, also something that should have been in the base game. In addition to a bunch of character rebalances, and you can now skip the opening cutscene for the Lucilius fight. The selection cursor will now remain on the previously undertaken quest the next time it's accessed from the quest counter. Improve the visibility of mastery nodes that can be unlocked with players' current MSP. Adds a feature that scatters wee pincers throughout Folka so they can be collected again. Speak to Little Pince after clearing Save the Crustaceans finale. So this is cool because it means that you can go and re-pick up the wee pincers, because every character has a unique voice line when they pick up the wee pincers. So if you want to rehear them or see what other characters say, like for example Sandalphon, then you can go back and pick up the wee pincers again, and various bug fixes. So, a lot of nice little quality of life stuff, a few new gameplay things, and of course, Sandalphon. So, for those of you that have not played Granblue Fantasy, the mobile game, Sandalphon is a very popular character. He has been, pretty much since release, like the most popular male character in the game. Which is saying a lot because usually most of the top characters for all the popularity polls are just females. So he's at the top. Before him it was Percival, I believe, for quite a while. Sandalphon was introduced with the anniversary events. What makes the sky blue, what makes the sky blue 2, and what makes the sky blue 3. And he was initially introduced as an antagonist, and then he has a lot of character development and growth, and then becomes part of the crew, and helps them fight against Belial, Beelzebub, and Lucilius, particularly. So he's a very beloved character, and of course you've seen him in the Lucilius quest already, and we've seen him in Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising story mode, which I'm pretty sure he's going to become playable in that game with the next season, most probably. So he's a very beloved character, and I quite like him as well. Okay, so here, version 1.3.0, new playable character, quests, bug fixes, other updates. They added another quest to fight Lucilius. It's even harder than the other one, so that actually reflects the mobile game. The mobile game has, they kind of recently introduced an even harder version of Lucilius, because back when they first introduced Lucilius years ago, he was the toughest raid, and then since then they've added tougher ones, so now they put him back on top again. New DLC item packs. There's new emotes. There's new sigils that you can buy, and there's a new color pack as well. So you can see now we can watch the credits straight from the title screen here. Hey Ash, welcome in. Hello Monk. Hey Nakyo, it's good to see you guys today. So, the last update was for Sofon and Tuyen, and I have played it a little bit since. I farmed the Behemoth a few times to get some items, but I still haven't farmed Lucilia, so I don't really have Lucilia sigils, which is fine. You don't need them at this point in the game just yet, but hold right stick to view a map of the current area. That's nice. Photo mode. To enter photo mode, simply select it from either the main menu or pause menu, play around with various settings, and set up that perfect shot. Photo mode caveats. The game won't pause during photo mode if you're playing online. Furthermore, assist modes will be disabled when photo mode is active. Swapping characters or gear from the main menu will prevent you from starting photo mode. If you do, close and then open the main menu again before starting photo mode. Then, a bunch of new quests available, new sigils, new synthesis, claimable add-ons, trophy rewards. Okay. So, character unique sigils are available at the Knickknack Shack. Sigil Synthesis. Synthesis allows you to spend rupees and Knickknack vouchers to combine 2 legendary sigils and transfer their traits. Both sigils must have a plus mark. So this is actually pretty game-breaking, because the hardest part about this game, farming-wise, was RNG trying to get the right combination of sigils with their plus traits. But now you can do some synthesis. Now I don't know to what extent you can combine these things. One of my friends told me you could almost make any combination now, because previously, even with RNG, certain combinations just weren't allowed. For example, having 2 attack traits together on a sigil, you couldn't have. So that's why people had to make their builds around that. But now that we have this, you could be a lot more flexible with your builds, which of course helps, because ever since Lucilius was introduced with his sigils, the builds have been a little bit more constricted, so now we can be a bit more fluid with that. You could even, one of my friends said you could even do like supplemental damage with supplemental damage. So I won't play around with this too much on stream, but it'll be a really cool thing to play with later. So just like with Sofon and Tuyen, you can actually farm for Sandalphon in the game for free without paying any money, or you can pay money and get him right away. Now, as a streamer, I paid so I can get him right away, so that I can save time on stream with you guys, but personally, I would not recommend doing that. I think Sofon, Tuyen, and Sandalphon, just farm them out. It's free. I'm really, really pleased and surprised that they made the DLC characters available for free to play, which is really nice. It really reflects the mobile game in that it's very free to play friendly, unlike a lot of other gacha games. And for them to do that here, I think it's just really kind of them. I really hope they continue to add more characters to the game. So I went on and bought this. Normally, if you want to farm for Sandalphon, you need to farm the first Lucilius battle in this game. So I'm not going to do that, but you can. I also got the new emotes. So they have Try Your Luck, Eat Rice Ball, Dance, and then they have 3 from Uma Musume, which is another game from Cygames. It's another gacha game about horse girls. They're like girls that are anthropomorphized versions of famous racehorses, I believe. And they've had a crossover with Granblue, the mobile game, as well. Now, these are 2 new color packs. Color Pack 5 came out with this update. It's like a purple color pack that gives everyone like an evil eye. It almost looks like Rosa Mia, the character from the Granblue mobile game, but not quite. I wasn't gonna get it, but I think for the sake of completion and showing you guys, I'll get it. And then this was the color pack from the previous update, Color Pack 4. I did not buy it because it didn't seem worth it, but I figured I might as well. It's the gold one that gives everyone a gold outfit. So we can now do... So now you can have a map overlay. That's actually kind of cool. It shows you all the chests on the map, including the ones that seem to respawn. And you can do this during quests as well. Although, honestly, the quest areas in this game are pretty straightforward. It's mostly the towns, I think, that you could really use this in. It's a pretty nice quality of life. Definitely was missing from before. Hey Lork, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by today. Let's go to Folka, because there's new quests there. Okay, so this is the repeatable quest. That one's also repeatable, so there's one up here. Every time I pick up this game again after a long time not playing, I'd have to like relearn how to play it again. Okay, I guess the new quests aren't here. You might need to beat the new battles to unlock these side quests. Unless they're from these guys.
Got an order?
Oh, so this is just the this is a new.
Got it.
Oh yeah, sigils can go up to like level 20 now, I think, which is crazy.
Don't forget about upkeep.
We'll check out the quest counter after. Oh, he didn't actually say anything. So I think by doing that, now the little pincers are available again around the map. Oh, there's one right there. He didn't even say anything though; it just appeared. Okay, so that wasn't a very interesting piece of dialogue, but a lot of the characters do have unique dialogue for finding all the pincers, so I guess that means you can just find them all around Folka now. That's kind of cool. A little bit of an Easter egg. Oh, so now there's a the quests are out here. I'm curious about that transmutation stuff Shiro does at the Knickknack Shack, but I've got no vouchers myself. Say, if you've got any extras, can I grab a few? Of course, I'll hit you back with something nice. Ooh, he gives you an ambrosia for this?
Ready for some action? Easier than eating apples.
I'm guessing that he has all the quests. There we go. Zathva says that ancient literature can sometimes be found among curios hidden throughout the skydom. We're going to need tons of hands to scrounge up these scripts. Do you feel up to the task? Please say yes. Well, he gives you an Azurite Splendor and a Berserker Echo. I think that one's new. So you just need to have on Avia Log 5. Okay, sweet.
Smell a new mission. Daddies ain't got nothing on you.
And then we'll just reset him again. Hey Moo Moo, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by today. Lucilius, an astral like myself. To the warriors who bested Lucilius and thwarted his grand finale, you must tell me everything you know about him. History cannot afford to have your crew's legendary exploits be buried in the sands of time. So, you just need to go defeat Lucilius again. And then you get an Azurite Splendor and a Kanan White Bloom.
I smell a new mission.
Okay, we won't do that right now, but I mean, there isn't special dialogue after finishing the side quest anyway, so So the Canaan White Bloom is a new item, used for Sandalphon and stuff. If we go over to the quest counter...
Yes, can I help you? Here it is.
Let's pick up our daily gold badge.
Right.
Okay, so these are new. So look, this is where we left off before with the first Lucilius quest that came out. So we have this new one. Pageant of Might and Magic.
Make the arrangements at once.
Come one, come all to a pageantry for the ages. Why waste away your prime on dreadfully dreary chores when you could be dancing with the stars? A stellar cast of gladiators awaits. Oh yes, I hope you don't mind if Galanza and I indulge as well. From Magliel. So they drop like a bunch of different items. So this is like a boss rush. So we have Gerasine, Quakedile, Corvel Earthworm, Galanza, Magliel, Piet A. Now, these quests, I was going to do these on stream here today, but I was talking with one of my friends, and these are kind of difficult to do by yourself, mostly because of the time limit. You have a 15-minute time limit to defeat all these bosses, and the problem is, if you don't have high enough DPS, they of course go into Overdrive and Bloodthirst, where you can't really damage them as much, and it takes a lot longer. So I'm probably going to do these on stream in the future with friends, because it'll be more fun that way anyways. But I'll still talk about them today, just so you have an idea. So this one's from Zathba. Zathba's Volunteers. Thought we cleared up Avia's scraps. According to my intel, their goblin conspirators are amassing troops in Fondom. Hell, seems like they even got dragons, and we don't have the personnel for that. Good thing I know a crew who moonlights as army crushers. Know what I'm saying? So, more different drop items. These are probably pretty good for farming, assuming you could do them consistently enough. So we have Goblin Warrior, Rock Golem, Behemoth, Ancient Dragon, Vrazarek, Fireworm, and Taiyu Atar. So again, another boss rush. This one has a time limit of 18 minutes.
This one, yes?
Okay, this one's from Id. Dark Swordsman's Nightmare. Hard to sleep these days. In my nightmares, I see Versa and the utter destruction it rains on the realm. Were despair to blanket the skies, would we be able to overcome them? I know this is a weird request, but would you mind helping me dispel the sense of foreboding? Ooh, you get an Azurite Splendor for the first time clear. So this is, you fight Bahamut Versa, but at the Proud level. It's basically like the Bahamut Versa fight that you do in the story, where Id is there as well as an enemy. But that one was story difficulty. This one's Proud difficulty, which is, I guess, kind of nice because Bahamut Versa previously, you only fight him here for the very first Proud quest, which is not really hard with a power level of 10,000. So I guess Bahamut Versa is now back with a vengeance. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't have this one in the base game, but it's nice that they added it. I just noticed the Grand Cypher here on the screen is moving. That's kind of cool. And then this one.
Would you take this one?
Oh, this one just says 0. Defeat Lucilius. And then it's just
At once.
question mark, question mark, question mark. Prove your worth. So of course this is a even tougher version of Lucilius. Along with these Canaan White Blooms, which is again a new item. And I'm technically below the advised power level, not that they add extra sigil levels and stuff like that too. So if we go back to the Lucilius fight, like they've added these Canaan White Blooms as well. So yeah, I was planning on doing these on stream, but now that I learned that they're not really solo friendly, I will wait to do these on a future stream with some friends. Plus, I probably need to power up a little bit too. But it's cool that they added this. It's nice that they're still updating. Let's try photo mode real quick. Oh, and the new emotes. I'll try the new emotes. Let's stand in front of the church. Try your luck. Oh, it's a gacha. So that's the blue crystal is like just the rare things, which are the lowest rarity. It's funny, it's like in gacha games, it's like even the lowest rarity things are called rare to make you feel better, but it's like these aren't rare at all. And then that's the SR one. Come on, give me an SSR. SSR rate is usually like 3%, except during the middle of the month and the end of the month, it goes up to 6%. Or Flash Gala and Legend Gala. Oh, come on, give me an SSR, man. You want to play gacha in your non-gacha version of the gacha game? Oh, just give me an SSR. Is it really like a 3% or a 6% chance? Come on. I kind of like that they added this. Yeah, there's a gala right now. Also, Vayne is taking like a step forward every time I do this. You can see the children coming into frame. Come on. Give me that rainbow crystal, man. I bet I'm gonna get the rainbow and then accidentally click and it'll cancel out. Yeah, I'm slowly stepping forward towards the cliff. If I don't get one by then, Vayne's just gonna run off. I can't believe this. Come on, I need to get at least one rainbow. Aha! There we go, yeah. Celebrating Pride Month with the Rainbow Crystal. Okay, and then eat rice ball.
My compliments to me.
Dance. It's so goofy. The pose at the end. And then these are the Uma Musume ones. You're supposed to do this with your friends. Like you stand next to each other and hold hands. Oh, it's like a full dance. It almost looked like they were doing like the Haruhi Suzumiya for a second there. Oh, and then this one's if you're standing on the left side. Then this one's if you're standing on the right side. Let's try with a couple other characters. Let's see.
No, not like that. Okay, concentrate on your form. Now lock in. That's it.
Lunchtime! That's what I needed.
Oh, I think it's more or less the same dance, isn't it? She's too short to have her hands reach the other characters if you're standing next to them. We have to. We have to. We have to.
Glorious lunch.
He takes out two. I was expecting him to pull out like a pile. Look at him, he's so fabulous.
All wrong.
You work it, Gandagoza, you work it. So, I didn't talk about this last stream because I found out after,
Safe
but
with me.
Gandagoza, of course, for a long time, was pretty much like the worst character in this game. He's too slow to justify the amount of damage he outputs, and he doesn't even output that much damage. So, after the previous patch update with Sofon and Toyin, apparently they changed him a little bit, especially with his new sigil that came out with Behemoth. And if you build him correctly, specifically going for link time builds, he was really powerful. Drago sent me a video where people were fighting Lucilius with, it was like 1 Charlotta and 3 Gandagozas, and they get him to about 50% HP, and then they go into link time, and then all the Gandagozas just spam their like Y attack punch on Lucilius, and then they kill him before link time ends, like from 50%. It was ridiculous. So like apparently now if you build Gandagoza a specific way, and if your entire party is kind of geared towards, you know, making that link time happen faster, you can get a ridiculous amount of DPS with him. But I feel like it's more of a gimmicky build, but Drago tested it, I think, on a couple bosses and got something sort of similar. It's because of the way his punch like interacts or something like that. I think it's like the damage cap is like astronomically actually high, but if you like charge it up with Eternal Rage, you just increase the attack multiplier, but not the damage cap multiplier, so that if you spam the punch, but you already have enough attack, you can actually reach really high, even without charging up the Eternal Rage, or something like that. Don't quote me on this. Might be fun to try in the future. The other thing from the previous patch was they accidentally made it so Cagliostro's Alexandria attack had no damage cap on it, so people were able to get like ridiculous amounts of damage with Cagliostro, but it says here on the patch notes for this patch they fixed it, but they did increase Alexandria's damage cap, so it is better than it was before Sofon and Toyin, but still not as good as it was when it was broken, but that was kind of funny. That Arun guy just like ran into Vayne. Thanks for calling Kirby. Hey Timbit, welcome in. Okay, let's try the photo mode. Hey Tomo, welcome into the stream. Thanks for stopping by today. So again, there's a photo mode contest on Twitter, but I think the prize is like an acrylic printout of your own entry. So it's just neat, but it's not like super cool. Although the female voice actor, the voice actress for Shiro Kart in Japanese is one of the judges, and one of the winners is going to be like her pick, which is kind of cool. Bragging rights, you know? The auto capture feature enables the game to automatically take screenshots based on the criteria you set. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Press the keypad while in photo mode to enable auto capture. Or this button, auto capture. Desired shots, 5 shots, situational. Perfect dodge with low HP, sending a boss into Brig. On the results screen, at the end of a quest, destroying a part. Finishing off a foe, entering link time, triggering a chain burst, upon clearing a quest, at the start of your skybound art. This setting is ignored when shot interval is set to situational. Oh, so every... I mean, that's cool that that's an option. Toggle... Oh, you can do a bunch of things. Toggle Vern. Hi, Vern. Toggle player, eye contact, emotes. Unavailable when not in a session. Oh, so I have to do the emote and then start the photo mode. Facial expression. Frames. Oh, ooh. Let's look at all of them. That's pretty cool. This feels like the Spider-Man game photo mode. Oh, you can do an appraisal one. What the? This is just creepy. Roland. Excuse me? Why? Why does he have that blank look on his face? He put Lyria in the screen. Zega Grande friends. They are huge. Character spotlight, bloom intensity, paint effect. Oh, you can make it like look like it's a canvas. Oh, this is the effect they use for the background pictures in the Fate episodes, right? Color filters. Got the field, camera movement. Okay. Okay, so I can move around. Zoom in. Let's look at the facial expressions. Oh, that's too close. That's pretty cool. There's probably a lot you could do with this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it here, but... That's neat. It's a shame you can't just do emotes like this, though. You gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Like in Final Fantasy XIV, where you do the emote and then you start the G-pose. Although now they added a thing where you can change the emote in G-pose, but whatever. Okay, cool. Cool. Sigil synthesis.
Sigil faction guaranteed.
Let's play with this just a little bit. Let's play with some ones that I don't really need. Here, health with poison resistance. And then you select your other one. Attack with nimble onslaught. Costs 50,000, it costs 10 knickknack vouchers. Wait, these are just prospects. Yeah, so you will have to re-roll this, probably. Save scum it, just like you do with... I mean, the game knows that you save scum your Transmarvel sigils. There's no way they don't, right? It's probably built to be that way. Okay, so it's not as nice as like, oh, you could just pick whatever traits you want. It's like, you have a chance of one of these 12 combinations. But you can also have two main traits. You can have HP with attack. That's interesting. So, I mean, best case scenarios, if you pick two things that have the same secondaries, or the same primaries, then you can decrease the number of chances. Okay. It's neat that they added this, but I wish, like, if there's only gonna be 12 combinations at most, like, you might as well just let us pick which one, right? I think you should just let us pick which one. Everyone's gonna save scum this, so... Okay. But yeah, I also want to show you the new color palettes. So this one's the one with the gold color pack, which was available during the last patch. Pretty ugly, actually. I was initially not going to buy this, but I thought I might as well for this stream. And then this one's the new one. It's like purple, but then you have like an evil eye.
That's it.
Alright, oh, there. You have this like evil eye thing. It kind of reminds me of Rosa Mia from Granblue, the gacha game, but not quite. and everyone's evil eye looks to be just slightly different. I don't know why they added this, but I guess okay.
What can I do you for? Not everyone gets to see the. We have a wide selection
But
of.
these are new sigils for Sandalphon, Supreme Primarch's Awe Nimbus Warpath. And this one's new. Ein. Automatically recover health over time. Sets max HP to 45% or 45,000 in exchange for a boost to attack. Oh, this is basically like his version of the Terminus skill. Okay. Berserker Echo. What's this? Boost chance of triggering supplemental damage the higher base attack power is. Supplementary damage dealt by other sources will be added to that damage. Gosh, they're gonna have everyone's gonna have to redo all their builds again. And all the guides are gonna become outdated again, and we're gonna have to wait for people to figure out like which of these are worth using and how many supplementaries to use, etc. Boost chance of triggering supplementary damage the higher base health is. Supplementary damage dealt by other sources will be added to that damage. Super Ultimate Perfect Dodge. Shortens perfect dodge timing window, but greatly boosts damage cap during invincibility from a perfect dodge. Doesn't stack with Flight over Fight or Improved Dodge. Okay.
Sending out the old crew.
Okay, so now with Sandalphon, you recruit him using crewmate card Sandalphon. Which
Let me know if you need help.
I should have, or I should be able to trade for. Here. So you trade it with 3 Canaan White Blooms, which of course you can farm from Lucilius.
Got some goodies for ya. Never hurts to have some backup, right?
This Primal Beast serves as the current Supreme Primarch. He battled hand-to-hand with the crew and stopped Lucilius from destroying the world, thus restoring peace to the Sky Realm. Ease of use, 5 stars, so he's actually easy to use. He looks pretty cool. This is weapon, mastery nodes, actions. Look at those heels.
It's been a while. But I'm here to fulfill my promise.
I actually like him without the wings. I think the wings are a little bit too much. Even when he has the wings, I prefer it. He starts off with like 6 white wings, and then they turn rainbow when he gets all the elements. I prefer them when they're white, at least. I feel like the rainbow one is a little bit too gaudy for my tastes. Oh, we got the sticker. Going out for a bit. Yeah, they take up so much screen space. You want to practice? Yes. So usually I use Vayne, and then my computers are Cagliostro, Rosetta, and Gran. I'm probably going to replace Gran with Sandalphon. Unless I need healing, then I'll replace Rosetta instead.
Let's finish this quickly.
This Archangel inherited a duty, one he continues to oversee to this day, boasting sword skills and quick reflexes. When he spreads his chromatic wings, no foe can stop him. Press X repeatedly to perform combos, but know that well-timed attacks are stronger than button mashing. Pressing Y allows him to quickly sidestep incoming attacks. Oh, actually, he was about to do it in the animation. So there's his attack. And then he... Are you gonna sidestep there, Sandalphon? Oh, there we go. That's a pretty big sidestep. Sandalphon can charge up his Archangel gauge by holding Y or landing specific attacks. Hold Y with a full gauge to gain chromatic wings, which lets him mash X for powerful attacks. Think about, you know how he has like that big like cloth in the back? Think about how unwieldy that would be in the middle of battle. Like, look at it flying around everywhere. Well, it looks cool.
You're through.
So he doesn't have like a combo finisher with the light step. Or his combo finisher comes with the X button.
Enough. You're through. Into the light. Ecliptica. Bring them down. Come on.
Oh, this must be like a counter or something.
Let's finish this. I need more power. On wings of radiance.
Ooh, he gets guts, stout heart, chromatic wings.
Come on. Fall! Perish!
Well, he has different attacks now.
Be gone!
They're different elements too.
I have you! Blessings upon you!
Oh, a heal. Okay.
Welcome to your end.
Oh, elemental friction from the gacha game.
Wide open! You're through! Enough!
Like, pretty cool, but again, the wings are just so
You're through!
gaudy and unwieldy.
Enough!
Hey, Oriana, welcome to the stream.
You're through! There's no
Let's
way
get a
out.
Skybound going here.
Catch. Fall! Break them! Weak! Enough! Fear not! By these radiant wings, we shall prevail! Now break them!
Yeah, I can't imagine having an entire party of just Sandalphons and everyone's wings just getting in the way.
You're through!
Like, it's fine if I'm Sandalphon and then my computers
Enough!
have to deal with that, but if it's just a bunch of human players, I can see that being very annoying.
Destroy them! You're through!
Hey, Angora, welcome to the stream.
You're through! Come on! Weak! Yeah!
Okay. Pretty cool. Oh, I can look at the emotes here, I forgot.
Break time.
Break time. Let's eat a rice ball.
Scrumptious.
Where's his drink coffee emote? He needs to drink coffee emote. A running joke in the game is that he really likes coffee for lore reasons, and pretty much ever since his events have happened, all his events have involved coffee in some way. It's kind of endearing, but... Lately, you and your friends have done a game where you count the number of Sandalphons you see in quick matches, and there's a lot of them. I could imagine.
Okay.
Stupid crew skybound mode thing getting in the way.
Not bad. The angel strikes from above. Sure.
I would love if they added Vikala. I do like Vikala. I would really like if they added Ire, but that's never gonna happen. I'll even take Feather. I'll take Feather with an Ire palette swap. I just want... This game needs like a fast fist fighter, not like a slow Ganagoza fist fighter, like a fast fist fighter. We'll just look at a couple more emotes and then we'll get going.
His wish lives within me. Well, who's up for a coffee break?
Oh, there he is. There. You mentioned coffee. His Fate episodes will probably have coffee in them too.
Appreciate the support.
Let's go. So I learned my lesson with Sophon and Toyen's Fate episodes. For the DLC characters, you can't just go into the Fate episodes as is. You need to upgrade them a little bit.
Got an order?
All right, let's get to it.
Of course he gets World Ender. Of course it needs Kanan White Blooms.
Want your weapons tempered? Let's kick it up a notch. Unlock! Always aim. Well, look at that. Let's kick it up a notch. Unlock! I'll unlock its hit. A complete success. I'll handle it. How about that? Don't forget about upkeep.
Okay, let's do his mastery nodes. Okay, oh, there we go.
Interesting. Level up.
Level up.
Nice. Good. Well, well. Excellent. Well, well. Good. Excellent.
Menu screen gaming.
There's always room for improvement. Nice. Interesting. Well, well. Excellent. Nice.
We'll start from the bottom.
Good. Interesting. Well, well. Good. Excellent. Nice. Interesting. Well, well. Pure steel requires steady maintenance. I think I'm onto something. My blade grows ever sharper. May this sword receive your blessing. Another step toward true mastery. May this sword receive your blessing.
You got a new trophy. Your fingers are delicate. Granblue players understand. Granblue players understand. Out of context, that sounds really weird.
Come to view the request?
Okay, what level do I need to be to get his Space episodes? Level 85. Okay, I can do that.
See you.
I think I still have enough spell books. We'll just stop there. Okay, let's do his Fate episodes. Let's see what they cooked up for him. Sandalphon, a primal beast serving as the current Supreme Primarch. He helped Kiro and the crew thwart Lucilius' plot to end the world. Thanks to his efforts, peace has returned to the Sky Realm.
There's something about the pure blue sky that pierces the soul. Whenever I glimpsed its light, I felt my spirits lifted upward into the resplendent glow. But when I tried to reach out and capture its brilliance, I would find myself empty-handed. I knew I was a fool for believing I could touch it, but I would give anything to be in its presence, bathed in its warmth, just once more. How I detested that radiance, the light I shunned, rejected, and despised, and above all, yearned for. Is it irrational to both loathe and cherish something? My emotions had been in disarray, driving me towards madness. But to understand what led to that incongruity, I need to start from the beginning. Fate was set in motion roughly 2,000 years ago, when the astral Lucilius created assistants to aid his research into Sky Dweller evolution. They were the original primal beasts, though they went by a different name. Archangels. Given that we primals are immortal, the role which we are bestowed becomes our sole purpose for existing. Yet, when I was created, Supreme Primarch Lucifer saw fit to grant me nothing. I was essentially a blank slate, little more than the hollow husk of a primal. With unwavering determination, I stalked the garden of the Astral Research Lab, waiting for my chance to question Lucifer. What was my purpose in life? Only he had the answer I desperately sought. With each passing moment, the whirling tempest of inferiority and doubt within my mind grew fiercer. As my disillusionment deepened, I came to view the Supreme Primarch as my only salvation. His wisdom, his skill, and even his poise. Everything about him was sublime. It was only fitting that he was beloved by all. I was convinced there was no other being as perfect as him. Indeed, he was the light that illuminated the world. And thus, I endeavored to prove that I could be of use to him. The only way I could pull my weight was to secure a role for myself. It became an obsession. I was but a tender hatchling, pestering its parent for nourishment. If only I had been more careful of what I wished for. One day, I finally learned the truth of my purpose, and it destroyed me. I wouldn't go so far to say I was eavesdropping, more like I happened to be within earshot of a conversation between Lucilius and Lucifer. From this innocuous meeting, my entire world changed forever. A spare. I was Lucifer's spare. A temporary stand-in for the Supreme Primarch, should circumstances go awry. However, when you're the definition of perfection like Lucifer, a spare becomes redundant. Not only was I born a backup, I was a useless one. My dreams were built on hope, respect, and admiration. Yet, it wasn't until everything came crashing down that I realized how flimsy that foundation had been. In one brief flash, I came to hate the light. Much time passed after that shocking revelation, though little of note occurred. Later, however, a faction of the Archangels rose up in rebellion against the Astrals. They were the fallen angels, primals who believed themselves to be at the top of the food chain, radicals who snapped at the hands of their creators. Their mission was to shake up the hierarchy. Lost in rage from being tossed aside like a broken doll, I joined the rebellion without hesitation. It was my chance to claim revenge on Lucifer and Lucilius. No, just Lucifer. But the revolt was quashed, and I, along with the fallen angels, was imprisoned in pandemonium. I languished in that colossal cage for 2 millennia. An eternity, even for a being with all the time in the world. Yet, as chance would have it, when Vern and Lyria came in contact with each other for the first time, a deafening roar reverberated across the skies, signaling the opportunity for me to escape. Luck was on my side, but when I emerged back into the open skies, Lucifer was nowhere to be found. I wanted to be berated, I yearned to be scolded, but above all else, I needed acknowledgement. And I wouldn't rest until I got what I deserved. If I needed to light the world ablaze just to smoke him out, so be it. I destroyed the equilibrium between the tetra elements, fire, water, earth, and wind. Deprived of that delicate balance, the islands would lose buoyancy and crash into the crimson horizon below. My lips twisted into a grin as I watched the Primarchs scramble to put out my fires. Wiping out the world wasn't even that hard. I'd barely broken a sweat. I shed no tears for the ruin of the skies. My focus was exhausted, suffocated by the stranglehold Lucifer kept on my heart. Darkness had conquered my judgment to the point where not even his light could mollify me. But that was what I wanted. What possessed me to commit such atrocities? Why did I lash out with such rancor? I asked rhetorically. I already knew the answers. I didn't care if I became a villain. All I cared about was proving my existence. Nothing was going to stop me. Come what may, I was going to force his hand.
Hey Nix, welcome to the stream, it's good to see you, welcome in. So the prologue here kind of describes the setup for the What Makes the Sky Blue anniversary event for Granblue, which is when we first encounter Sandalphon, but he is an antagonist at that point. The Archangels were primal beasts led by Supreme Primarch Lucifer to regulate the Sky Realm. Unlike all the other Archangels, Sandalphon was created by Lucifer but never given a role, causing the Archangel to question his reason for existing. When Sandalphon discovered he was nothing more than Lucifer's spare, he joined the fallen angels in rebellion against their creators. Ever since then, Sandalphon has struggled with his complex relationship with Lucifer.
I chose to believe there was a method to my madness. To be punished for my crimes would validate my birth. Leaving behind a wake of destruction was my way of crying out for attention. No matter how foolish an act it was, nothing could have stopped me. There was only one way to soothe my tortured soul. All I needed was for one person to admit that I mattered, to tell me I belonged in this world. In the end, it was the captain and crew who thwarted my realm-raising intentions. My plan to sow havoc and turmoil in the skies by releasing the fallen angels from Pandemonium never stood a chance. Perhaps I should have seen my failure coming. Nothing got past Lucifer. His stringent vigil over Pandemonium prevented the sky's impending doom. He appeared before me in my time of defeat. Every pent-up emotion inside of me, excess baggage accumulated over the past 2,000 years, erupted all at once. Grief from feeling worthless, misery from being ignored, despair from everlasting rejection. Everything that had transpired was his fault. Hate me, destroy me, punish me, I begged. But Lucifer did not see fit to play my game. Instead, he accepted full responsibility for my crimes. No, it wasn't supposed to end that way. I wasn't interested in clemency. I sought to beget calamity in order to be struck down by the Supreme Primarch's own hand. Were he to forgive my transgressions, my hatred for the light over these past centuries would have been for naught. To my dismay, the punishment I desired never came. Lucifer sealed me within the gentle warmth of his core, where I succumbed to a deep sleep. I found myself in a place where time ceased to flow. It was the perfect cloister, where I had nothing but my thoughts to keep me company. Then one day, Lyria came to see me. She fought to make me see reason, drawing examples from her own life experiences. The girl spoke of grappling with personal inadequacies. She hadn't known what her purpose in life was, or even who she was. But despite those hurdles, she eventually found a place to call home. Likewise, she believed it wasn't too late for me to discover my true self. Could Lucifer and I actually come to understand one another someday? It was a tempting thought, one that caused cracks to form in my rigid facade. Perhaps I had misunderstood Lucifer all along. The stronger the light, the darker the shadow. When one is faced with such dazzling brightness, the only escape is to look away. Could it be that I was being bathed in his light all this time? The walls of my confines melted away, and I was transported to a shrine in Canaan. I could feel Lucifer's presence close by. Faint though it was, I followed his aura until I finally found him, or at least what was left of him. His head lay on the ground, devoid of a vessel to bear it. Despite the loss of his senses, he seemed to comprehend that someone was present.
Please. I have a message for the ears of one named Sandalphon. I leave my power and the position of Supreme Primarch to him.
Even in his dismembered state, his mind lingered on the Sky Realm. It's no wonder he irritated me so. He always did as he pleased. Consequences to others be damned. The skies! All you ever talk about is this worthless realm! I went off on a tirade, though I don't know how much of it got through to him, given his state. His last words took a turn toward the philosophical.
What makes the sky blue? For thousands of years, people have wondered. And even once they grasped the science, they continued to ask. It struck me. Perhaps a question is really just a wish, wondering why, how, what to do. That eternal questioning, wishing, seems to be where evolution leads.
As he drew his final breath, he spoke not as the Supreme Primarch, but as himself.
If I could be granted one last wish, I'd like to share one more cup of coffee with you in that shaded garden.
My chest ached, and the yearning for the light returned. His already dim glow continued to fade. I felt his power, along with his wishes, being passed on to me. All I could do was stand there in a stupor. I peered out of the shrine and gazed at the expansive blue he loved so much. His calming light would forever shine across the skies, illuminating the path forward, an undying beacon to guide those who lost their way.
Hey Trey, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for coming by. It's good to see you. Yes, yes. So that was the setup for What Makes the Sky Blue 2 Paradise Lost, the second of the 3 What Makes the Sky Blue anniversary events. Sandalphon nearly doomed the Sky Realm, partly as a ploy to force Lucifer to punish him, thereby acknowledging his existence. Instead, Lucifer accepted full responsibility for Sandalphon's sins and placed him in a deep sleep. When Sandalphon awoke from his long slumber, he discovered that Lucifer had been murdered. With his final breath, Lucifer had left a heartfelt message for Sandalphon and bequeathed his supreme Primarch powers to the Archangel. Oh, you guys can't see it, but behind me is Lucilius.
Disaster never seems to sleep. Not long after I had inherited Lucifer's
Right there.
power, another crisis threatened the world. This time it was Lucilius who took offense to the gods, unleashing chaos to spit in their faces. His plan, or grand finale in his words, was to crash Pandemonium into the Crimson Horizon, thereby destroying the dimensional barrier. To make matters worse, the Astral had the gall to attach his head to Lucifer's stolen body. It fueled him with immense power in the form of 12 pitch-black wings on his back. It was my duty to uphold the Supreme Primarch's legacy and protect the realm. I teamed up with the captain and crew to stop Lucilius dead in his tracks. I had finally found friends I wanted to protect. The fate of an entire world rested on my shoulders. This mission was personal. It wasn't so much about keeping promises or seeking atonement, nor was it to fulfill my duty as the Supreme Primarch. I simply wished to safeguard those I held dear. By some miracle, I had become the light that could banish evil. Lyria kept a white plume with her, perhaps as a good luck charm, without knowing what it truly represented. The plume resonated with me, and from my back grew 12 great wings. 2 were my own, followed by 6 bestowed by the Supreme Primarch. The other Primarchs contributed the final 4, 1 from each respective owner. With the weight of everyone's faith borne upon my wings, we defeated Lucilius, the Skyrealm's greatest threat, once and for all. A saga spanning 2 millennia had at last come to an end. It wasn't until some days later, as I stood on the deck of the soaring Grand Cipher, that I would have the chance to reflect on the immediate aftermath of our duel with Lucilius. After the Astral's downfall, a dimensional rift opened and began pulling Lyria in. I remembered the wind roaring in my ears as I flew to rescue her. The next thing I knew, I awoke in a place without time. I seemed to have returned back to the garden at the research lab, or some sort of recreation of it at least. A figure walked up to me and reached out a hand. It was Lucifer. Was I dreaming? Was this merely an illusion? We sat in the serene garden, sipping coffee and waxing nostalgic about events that took place 20-odd centuries ago. I couldn't stop my thoughts from spilling out. There were so many things to apologize for, so much gratitude to be expressed. And that's not to mention the myriad questions I felt compelled to ask. I reiterated my commitment to act as the new Supreme Primarch. And before long, the moment of our parting had arrived. In the past, I always had to watch him leave. But now, it was his turn to see me off. I had to be strong. For his sake. It was time to bid farewell to the eternal light of my adoration. I put forth my best smile. Till next time.
That's the conclusion of what makes a SkyBlue 300. And you can see, like I mentioned before, Sandalphon has a big thing for coffee. Lore-wise, it's because of his connection to coffee towards Lucifer. How he remembers how they shared the coffee, and he learned about coffee through Lucifer, and it was their favorite drink to share together, so he became like a big coffee connoisseur. So that was like all the summary of things that happened before, so I'm thinking this must be moving on to whatever his current story is through this game. Let's see what that brings us. As the new Supreme Primarch, Sandalphon fought alongside Kiro's crew to stop the Astral Lucilius from destroying the world. All hope seemed lost until Sandalphon manifested 12 wings, which bore the resolve of him and the Sky Dwellers, and at long last Lucilius was defeated. After the battle, Sandalphon briefly reunited with Lucifer in a place without time. Before returning once more to reality, Sandalphon reaffirmed his vow to continue Lucifer's work. Aru, welcome to the stream, thanks for stopping by, and Anonymous Cosmic, welcome in, thank you so much for following me and being a froggy friend, hello, hello. Well, look at how happy Gran looks, and everyone else is like frowning.
The Grand Cipher, its crew, and the endless blue skies. I never would have imagined myself posing for a painting against such a backdrop.
Not gonna lie, you had to lie down after a while after reading 000. It was a really good event, and it is one of Granblue players' favorite Granblue events for a reason. It was very well written, and of course contributes to the popularity of Sandalphon as a character as well. Maybe one day we'll read it on stream. It'd be nice to go back and revisit it.
But there I was, on the docks of Folka, standing beside my fellow models, Lyria, Vern, Id, and the captain. How did I get roped into this, you might be asking? Well, I can assure you I didn't volunteer. You see, it began a few days prior while I was perusing the wares of the Knick-Knack Shack. There, slightly hidden in the back, a painting had caught my eye. What drew my attention to the piece wasn't the scenic rendition of Folka, but rather the hue that stained the sky, It looked distorted. I felt compelled to ask the creator about their intentions. With Sierra Carte acting as an intermediary, the artist agreed to field my questions. In exchange, I and a select few would have to pose for a new piece. According to Id, the latest of the crew's allies, modeling was well within the bounds of a handyman's duties. But, returning to the topic at hand, once the portrait session concluded, I asked her to elaborate on the meaning behind her choice of colors.
Well, I'm not sure if I can explain it without sounding insane. Every time I look at the skies these days, it sort of feels blue? Like in the figurative sense, I mean.
In other words, she saw deterioration in the sky's health.
I don't know. I'm probably the only one who sees it that way. Maybe it's all in my head, but something doesn't sit right with me.
Such sharp perception. Perhaps this is what sky dwellers call artists' intuition. If the health of the sky is in actual decline, an examination of the wind element may help us locate any symptoms. Even the tiniest, most imperceptible change can balloon to catastrophic proportions. At worst, it could lead to the complete destabilization of the tetra elements. To ignore warning signs, no matter how trifling, was a recipe for disaster.
Wind element. Wind element. Oh, Purican might know something. Let me ask.
Lyria closed her eyes and beseeched the primal to appear. We waited, to no avail.
Huh? That's weird. Purican isn't responding to me.
According to Lyria, she'd spoken to the primal as little as a few days ago. Given the primal's newfound silence, it did seem as if something was wrong.
I don't like where this is going. I think this calls for a trip to the old mines.
The captain nodded in agreement.
As far as I'm aware, Tempeal's recovery has been trouble-free. Let's hope this is just a fluke.
The only way to know for certain was to see it for ourselves. We quickly boarded the Grand Cipher and departed for Tempeal to hunt for clues. Peace had barely returned to Zega Grande Skydom, and now chaos was already brewing once more. The knots in my stomach grew tighter by the minute.
Hey Monk, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by today. Yeah, if only we could see climate change that way, you know? If only. Yeah, the artist is just trying to make small talk, and then now Sandalphon's like, okay, that's a good excuse to go kick Fury Kane's butt, right? Sandalphon arrives in Zega Grande to visit the crew. While exploring Folca, a scenic painting of Zega Grande's sky catches his eye. Something about the artwork suggests to him that the equilibrium of the tetra elements could be eroding. The crew heads to Tempeal to investigate the condition of the wind element. Oh yeah, we haven't looked at his color palettes. Let's look at his color palettes. We have default, color 1, color 2, 3, 4. 4 is not bad. I mean, it's just black and silver. 5, 6, 7. I think this one's trying to be like Lucifer, sort of. Color 8. Oh, this is like OG Sandalphon. When he's still an antagonist, he has these colors. And then the gold one, and then the new purple one. He doesn't have that many good ones. Yeah, I wonder if his wings change. I'm gonna guess not. Unless they have one where his wings are all white. Again, I prefer the all-white wings than the multicolored ones, personally. Oh yeah, I should also look at his skills. Okay, so right now he has these ones. Ecliptica fires 4 magical swords towards foes. No Way Out, a multi/lunge attack. Okay, lunge attack is always useful to have. Revontule causes the ground below Sandalphon to erupt. Alone in Heaven, Sandalphon readies to parry and counter. Inflicts paralysis while encountering. Okay. I don't really like counter moves. Okay, what else do I have? Breath of Life restores HP to self and nearby allies. Restores more HP and removes debuffs if Chromatic Wings is active. I usually like having a healing move. Let's put it here though. Breath of Life. Power of 1 grants attack up, defense up, critical rate up to the entire party. Buff is usually good to have. Can be activated multiple times in a row to deal a max of 12 hits with good timing. Oh. Ethereal Prison. Damages foes within an expanding sphere and grants elemental friction. Elemental friction. Damage received will count as a superior element. So basically, kind of like the one in the mobile game. But if everyone already has like God Elemental, then it's not really as important. I kind of like having the buff. Might be a good idea. Maybe instead of Ecliptica, we'll try Talvio. Actually, you know, I probably don't need Power of 1 when I'm doing a solo quest, so let's just do Ecliptica for now.
I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary, to be honest with you.
Oh, some of the palettes do affect the colors of his wings. That's kind of cool. Maybe I'll try those out later.
The self-proclaimed handyman known as Roland had joined our investigation of Hailwind Altar. Astral though he may be, he was a close ally of the crew. As a longtime denizen of Zega Grande, his knowledge of the Skydom was second to none. To think there existed an Astral who had laid his life on the line for the good of the realm. It was difficult to reconcile Roland's personality with my own biases, especially having witnessed Lucilius's sinister deeds.
Wait, there's something close by.
Allow me to amplify your energy, Lyria. Now, can you try calling Furykin again?
Wait, I just realized I didn't put any sigils on Sandalphon. That's okay. I'll do that before the next Fate episode that we do fight. This one should be okay without it.
Sure. Here goes.
Once again, the primal of vitality failed to appear. It's becoming clear that the wind element is acting abnormally. It's more pronounced here than in Folka. Ever since the 4 Primarchs relinquished their oversight of the Tetra elements to nature, I've been able to utilize my Supreme Primarch powers to feel elemental currents. Yet I also sensed a faint foreign dissonance, one which was different from the irregularity in the wind element. Whatever it was, it seemed to be flowing towards a singular point elsewhere in the Skydom.
Hang on, I finally got through to Furykin. But something's not right.
A chill washed over my body, though it came and went in a flash. Judging from the look of panic on Lyria's face, the situation had taken a turn for the worse.
I was hoping I was wrong, but this aura can only mean one thing. Oh no, not this icky pressure again. I can't believe it's back.
That can't be. I thought we...
Here it comes!
A turbulent gale nearly launched us off our feet. Squinting through the howling wind, I saw the unmistakable silhouette of a primal beast rearing up on its hind legs. It appeared force was our only option. You give us no choice. We shall make you see reason.
Okay, no sigil challenge, here we go.
Hate to say it, Angraman's still pulling through short race.
I'm so sorry, Furykin. Even I didn't beat Angraman.
Ready! Hola! Set! Gimo! Dale!
Here it comes!
Focus on evasion.
Everyone, come to me! Ward of light, come forth! Bahamut!
There's no way out!
Oh, hi, Bahamut.
Great job, Lyria.
Thanks, Lyria.
Furykin is changing its form.
Ecliptica!
May have new tricks up its sleeve. Be ready for anything.
Finally shows its true face.
He stopped being untargetable.
Well, then I won't hold back either!
Yeah, Bahamut just slapped it. I like how this game has had Bahamut playing a proto-Bahamut playing more of an actual role.
him, or else we're sitting ducks!
One more push and victory is ours.
You can do this!
I keep trying to do combo finishers, but he doesn't have any. I feel like I just cut off some of his dialogue there.
Okay, Lyria. Your turn.
Got it!
Hold the line.
I mean, I guess also part of it is because I actually had my computer companions there, and they were pretty decked out.
I'm sorry for what you had to suffer through, Furiken, but everything's alright now.
Lyria's calming words soothed the primal. Now that Furiken was freed from its shackles, it dissipated quietly into the air, as did the projection of Angra Mainyu. We could only hope that we had seen the last of Furiken's fitful outbursts.
Lilith, you still haven't loosened your grip on this Skydom, have you?
The infamous Angra Mainyu was not what I had expected. Hearing about it was one thing. Being in its unsettling presence was something else entirely.
I still don't get it, though. Why'd old Gusty wait until now to start kicking up a storm? I mean, Furiken could have caused some serious damage already if it really wanted to.
I have my guesses. You see, during my old research days, we Astrals delved into the concept of emotional intelligence.
The primal beasts of Zega Grande formed pacts with the islands to serve as their guardians. It had been Roland who convinced the masses to worship these primals as primeval gods. Instilled with the people's faith, the primal's influence over the environment expanded significantly. Obvious treachery was responsible for Tempeal's misfortunes, resulting in a loss of faith in Furiken. As that confidence waned, it was only a matter of time before the primal beast went berserk.
With that being said, this change is too rapid. Furiken is consuming too much power.
Having lived in Zega Grande for so long, Roland knew an irregularity when he saw one. All we could posit for certain was that the stagnating faith in Furiken was weakening the wind element. Was it simply a case of lost confidence? I had a nagging suspicion there was more to the puzzle.
So if we don't restore that faith, things won't go back to the way they were.
Yes, that is the natural conclusion. I'm afraid swaying hearts will be easier said than done considering the damage Furiken has caused. But as they say, time heals all wounds.
Such optimism. Though his reasoning had merit, I did not believe we could leave fate in the hands of an old adage alone. May I interject?
What's wrong? You sound kinda serious.
As far as Zega Grande is concerned, Furiken is the next closest thing to the wind element itself. If Furiken's power drops, the wind element would consequently weaken. I needed to hammer home just how pressing this issue was. We find ourselves in a predicament where Zega Grande's islands are destined to fall out of the sky.
Wait, what?
You'd better start talking.
Gladly. However, the problem at hand requires a brief history lesson. And so, I recounted how the islands of Fanta Grande nearly fell into the Crimson Horizon.
How the islands of Fanta Grande nearly fell into the Crimson Horizon. I'll just leave out the part where it was actually my fault, but you know.
All because I had disrupted the equilibrium of the Tetra elements.
Okay, never mind. At least you're taking the blame for that one. There you go. The responsibility.
Fire, water, earth, and wind. Island buoyancy is predicated on the delicate balance between those four. I was convinced this loss of buoyancy had made its way to Zega Grande, though I couldn't place the origin of the dissonance I felt. It was too faint and hard to trace, like trying to detect a grain of sand in the sea. The process could take as long as a century or as little as a year. Either way, it had begun. The clock was ticking.
A collapse of the balance between elements. Interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
So, just because the Islanders don't believe in Furiken anymore, the wind is weakening, and someday the island will drop out of the sky?
More or less.
I can't sense the elements at all. How are we to rectify something we can't detect?
Maintaining the balance was paramount. A single loose thread could cause everything to rip at the seams. Restoring faith in the primal beasts, who represent their respective elements, should, in theory, stabilize the equilibrium. I presented my idea to Roland, and he agreed.
You make a sound point. Right then. Leave it to Mr. Fix-It. My experience with mending relationships shall not go to waste. I'll have a talk with everyone in Einstedo.
Yeah, Operation Let's Restart Roland's Cult.
Roland had the trust of the townspeople, so the wind element was in capable hands. That left 3 elements unaccounted for.
Well, guess it's up to us to handle the rest. It'll be fun taking another tour of Zega Grande.
Great, a victory lap.
Always seems like we're heaping more and more troubles on your plate. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. We'll make you proud.
You know what to do, Id. Let's show everyone what happens when Team Handyman steps up to the plate.
I'm on it.
With a strategy in place, we set off for the next island. A daunting task rested on our shoulders. We needed to rebuild the people's trust and faith. But I believed in the potential of Sky Dwellers, and I was finally a light who could guide them.
These Fate episodes are a lot lengthier than the other characters because of all the lore they need to build into it. I should equip some sigils on him now before I forget. We'll just give him like normal ones. Actually, we'll start off with... Wait, did I get a free Supreme Primarch? Yeah, I did. Supreme Primarch's Awe. Boost damage cap of perfect X and Y attacks. Landing perfect attacks fill Sandalphon's Archangel gauge. Okay. Give him that. Let's give him... No, not any of these. Okay, Auto Revive is useful. Guts is useful, but do I need it? Sure. Potion Hoarder, definitely. Uplift is useful. I don't have any extra War Elemental. Oh, the Aegis has Guts on it. Sure. Remove this one. And then... Let's see. You can have some of my supplemental damage for hand-me-downs, I guess. Link Together is useful, but I want to see... I don't think I'll be able to put damage caps on him right away. Give him a Tyranny. Oh, let's give him... Oh, Tyranny with Aegis. Okay. Then I won't have Guts on just yet. Stamina is useful. Well, Stamina with Potion Hoarder means I don't need Potion Hoarder. He's just getting all the ones that I couldn't fit on all of my other characters. Okay, critical hit rate's important. Oh, critical hit rate with Stamina. And then his critical hit rate's not at 100 yet, so we'll just give him a couple others. Oh, he has 2 critical hit rates with Stamina. Okay, fine. And then, okay, I'll give him the Guts back again. Again, this will just be temporary until... I'll probably give him a bunch of Gran stuff once I stop using Gran. Frankenfawn. Yeah. Again. It depends on how hard they decide to make his last Fate episode fight. If it's like Sylphons and Toyans, then we'll see.
Yes, can I help you?
Episode 5, Water. Wow, we're making our way through the Avatar The Lost Airbender books now. At the Hailwind altar, the crew is forced to subdue a berserk Furykin. Roland believes waning faith in the primeval gods is creating abnormal conditions. According to Sandalphon, as Furykin's power declines, the wind element in Zega Grande will grow unstable, causing islands to fall. the crew races to the next island, hoping to mend the connection between primals and sky dwellers.
Our homes, our livelihoods, it's all gone. Gone! We paid a visit to an old monastery on Lotanya Island. Rather than a warm welcome, we were greeted by a man stricken with grief. Try as I might, my questioning was met only with lament.
It is a pleasure to see you all again. Though I am loath to admit we cannot offer much in the way of hospitality at the moment.
Historiath, a woman who had played a vital role in bringing down Angra Mainyu, bowed to us with solemn grace.
You chose an inopportune time to visit. A section of permasnow inconceivably thawed, resulting in horrific flooding. We have our hands full with the evacuation efforts.
That explained the flock of distraught individuals milling about. Historiath and her attendants from Melo's monastery had done a remarkable job preventing casualties. The dramatic climate shift is certainly to blame for the unexpected thaw. However, the root cause was surely tied to a deviation of the water element. But there were more important things to worry about. For now, I brushed it aside in favor of helping the islanders.
This news doesn't appear to faze you. Is there perhaps something I should know?
I explained how faith in the primeval gods was connected to the state of the elements. The overseer closed her eyes, as if weighing the options available to her.
Does this mean we'll have to fight Managarmer?
That is ultimately not up to me. I would rather use force as a last resort, even though it seemed inevitable. Furikin's frenzied outburst could have been the exception, but perhaps that was just wishful thinking. These people were reaching their breaking points. To assault a god, a being meant to be revered, seemed counterproductive considering the state of morale.
Given that our esteemed primeval god governs sequestration, resealing it behind the doors of Tradam's sanctum may return some semblance of faith.
That could, in a manner of speaking, reset the island to its original state. A primeval god locked behind a door would elevate the divine being's mystique, thereby inspiring reverence amongst its worshippers. It was worth a try. Couldn't be any worse than allowing the climate shift to ravage the island.
O primeval god of Belfrost's dominion, by your grace, shut the gate of seclusion!
The sanctum doors shuddered and drew to a close. As they clicked shut, a wolf-like howl echoed from within the inner chambers. The evacuees raised their heads, soaking in the sonorous timbre with sighs of relief. To my surprise, the snowfall grew slightly heavier. I hadn't expected such a quick turnaround.
It seems Managarmer's divinity thrives when placed in seclusion.
Interesting, okay.
The clouds over Lotanya grew thicker and banished the sun's rays from its domain. Soon, the sacred mountain was back in the loving embrace of ice and frost. If the brutal cold is what its tenants cried out for, then who was I to judge?
Okay, so we don't have to fight Managarmer, I guess. Just locked him behind a door like a pet. Yeah, he just needed a timeout. Earth. Well, good, we don't have to fight frickin' Mr. Earthman here. Waning faith in Managarmer seems to be disrupting the water element, causing parts of Mount Nijli to thaw. Together with Historia, the crew seals Managarmer, the primal of sequestration, behind Tradam Sanctuary's doors in an attempt to revitalize the primeval god's mystique among the people. I feel like I'm probably gonna fight Vulcan Bola. That's what I think it's gonna go towards.
Whenever I need inspiration to formulate a harebrained scheme, I just plunk myself down in front of this empty litter box and the ideas start flowing.
Zothba chuckled as we stared out at the ruins of Valian. The crew hid in the shade of a monolithic rock formation to avoid melting in the mid-afternoon sun. Even so, the heat was palpable to my more mortal companions.
Now I know what a fried egg feels like.
Vern.
This island, like the previous two we'd come from, showed signs of irregularity. Desertification was accelerating, possibly spurred by an erratic earth element. I sensed the same lingering dissonance here, yet failed again to identify it. How irritating.
while we're holed up here trying to beat the heat, let me tell you a tale from Dolly's history.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not so fast, Buster. What's this info gonna cost us?
Ha! Spoken like a true info broker. Oh, they grow up so fast. Anyway, we're pals now, aren't we? Not everything I do has an ulterior motive, you know.
I think that was the first time I'd seen Zothba smile since our introductions. He went on to explain that this entire region was occupied by an immense structure known as Holy City Valian, otherwise known as the primal beast Excavalion, and it was home to many a sky dweller. They were protected by the primal's power of fortification, and some say even astrals walked among them. Excavalion blessed the desert, harsh as it was. Every day the islanders gathered on a hill beneath the stars to offer up their prayers. It was hard to imagine this now barren land once teemed with activity.
Those prayers must have been what fueled that emotion mumbo-jumbo Roland was going on about. Excavalion stored up quite a bit of goodwill back in the day.
That changed when Roland sealed away Excavalion during the war, causing the islanders to seek prosperity elsewhere. They uprooted their families and took their faith in Excavalion with them. The final nail in the coffin was hammered in by the Church of Avia 15 years ago, when the Dali catastrophe wiped out any remaining souls. Even if such a disaster hadn't transpired, faith in Excavalion had hit its peak nearly 500 years earlier. How would it be possible to replicate those heights once more?
And now what a coincidence that all these things are happening at the same time, even though it's been hundreds of years. Probably because of Lilith and Roland and Id and all that mumbo jumbo.
Let's see what we have to work with. For one, there was sand. Lots of sand. As far as the eye could see. It was going to take a monumental, maybe even asinine, idea to repopulate this desolate island.
Huh. What? You think I sit behind a big desk just to stroke my ego? Point your peepers over there. Tell me if you spot the seeds of a burgeoning oasis.
I squinted at the dune Zothba was pointing to. A figure crested its peak, looking like a tree growing out of the sand. Another one sprouted, and then another, and soon an entire forest had emerged from the beige sea.
Ladies and gentlemen, who's got what it takes to be a millionaire? There's treasure everywhere you look, but only the quickest get stinking rich. Finders keepers, losers weepers. Are you ready? Get set, go!
Oh great, we turned Excavalian's place into a big game show. I'm sure he's gonna love that.
On the spunky Harvin's signal, the crowd dispersed in all directions as if their lives depended on it.
We already picked the place clean of the good stuff, but they don't have to know that. Nothing mobilizes people better than get-rich-quick schemes. Besides, there's no rule against converting greed into faith, right?
I don't know, I feel like this could go wrong in very many ways in the future and come back to bite us in the butt, but you know what? Not our problem.
So this was the man's grand design, a treasure-hunting venture. If word of riches reached gullible ears, a base of operations could easily grow into a true village.
Our cut is 30%. Don't worry. We already hammered out a deal with Seed Hollow. Pretty good side hustle, if you ask me.
Regardless of wealth's powerful allure, success was not guaranteed. Nor would it come on such short notice.
Yeah, that's a problem for future Sega Grande. Find out in Granblue Fantasy Relink.
Still, it was a plan at least.
Yeah, mixing money and religion, what could possibly go wrong?
We would have to wait until enough people settled on Dali before determining the next step.
Yo, boss, I did it! My sales numbers are through the roof! That means I got that bonus on lockdown, right? Right?
Since when have I ever gone back on my word? Don't go spending it all in one place. And be sure to thank the primeval god. You hear?
I love ya, Excavalion! I'll buy a round in your honor.
Sometimes to get results, one needs to be unconventional, especially if it speeds the process along. This gambit just may prove to be more successful than anticipated. Zothba the information broker. He could give the Archangel of Cunning a run for his money.
Yeah, Sandalphon just shrugging. Well, mortal's gonna mortal, I guess, you know, as long as it fixes my problem. Excavalion was once revered for both blessing Dali's land and sheltering its people. Considering the desert landscape now, however, bringing people back to Dali will be a hard sell. Luckily, Zathba has set up a treasure hunting venture on Dali, hopefully sowing the seeds of growth.
I did not think it possible to exceed Dali's heat until I arrived on Fondom. Given that the fire element influences Fright Flame Altar, I should have known better. My throat burned with every spoken word. Even here, the fire element is fraying. The dissonance was present on this island too. Its true identity still elusive as ever.
When I was trapped in Vulcan Bola's crystal, I could almost make out its intentions. It wasn't always the primal beast of dread. It was originally supposed to bring hope to people.
Lyria had been shown an ancient memory, one in which Vulcan Bola originally presided over Dali and took shape based on the thoughts harbored by its residents. It acted as a vessel for people's emotions. Put differently, Vulcan Bola was a primal that materialized from the collective unconsciousness of its worshippers.
It was supposed to gather everyone's hope. But
She couldn't bring herself to finish her thought. But her frown and downcast eyes said all that needed to be said. When those former dwellers of Dali were confronted with the unknown, they had reacted not with hope, but with dread. Fear is a natural part of life. It allows a creature to avoid danger and survive to the next day. Mortals are generally rational beings, but it can be hard not to succumb to raw instinct. Whatever objective the Astrals aspired to achieve, it was incompatible with the wishes of Skydwellers. On account of the endless dread harbored within its body, Vulcan Bola gradually transformed into the earth-scorching being it is today.
the Astrals saw that things weren't going well. After Vulcan Bola damaged part of the island, they closed it off. Now it's called Fondom.
Without the guardianship of a primal beast, Dali's lands began to wither, while the volcanic domain of Fondom languished in neglect. As long as Vulcan Bola maintained its power of dread, this exiled land would never see change. No one could be expected to live a life of constant fear. We would be hard-pressed to find any person sane enough to dwell in what I can only describe as a blistering death trap.
So you got a plan for fixing up the fire element, right? Because I do not want to fall out of the sky.
Why don't we just pick it up and push it somewhere else?
Yes, if the current situation were left to fester, then the sky would be well on its way to collapse. Though who would put their faith in dread? We were at an impasse.
Oh, there you are. Goodness, you folks sure don't miss your cardio. I'm glad I found you.
Fix it, dude. What are you doing here?
As Roland jogged over to us, robes flapping, I realized he had two unfamiliar faces in tow.
Zathba told me I'd find you here. I'm happy to announce that we're all set in Folka.
Roland told us the whole story, and we want to do our part to save these skies.
You've done so much for us, and we've repaid so little of your kindness. As representatives of Seed Hollow, we're here to offer our full assistance.
Roland had held a forum with the peoples of Folka and Seed Hollow. After much deliberation, they decided to establish an observatory on Fondom.
By exposing people to the real Vulcan Bola, I think its dreadful reputation, forgive the pun, will gradually change for the better.
In addition to monitoring the primal, the observatory would become the destination for regular pilgrimages. The prayers offered would, hopefully, rehabilitate Vulcan Bola's image over time.
We were humbled by your efforts to protect our homes, so we knew we had to step it up too.
Our resources are your resources. Whatever happens, rest assured our forces will defend the citizens with their lives.
It was evident that the resolve of these Sky Dwellers was strong, thanks in no small part to the captain's inspiration. These mortals didn't need my meddling. The future of Zeka Grande was in good hands.
Unfortunately, I have another bit of news to share. In fact, I was hoping I could count on your help for just a bit longer.
Roland's smile vanished, and a steely gaze took its place.
A scouting team from Seed Hollow filed several reports about a strange phenomenon they experienced while investigating the Pillar of Vayoi. They claimed to have heard a voice, but not just any voice.
Do we have to fight Angra Mainyu again?
My body suddenly went numb with apprehension. It was as if I had returned to the research lab, reliving the moment when I heard Lucilius call me a spare.
It was Lilith's.
No one moved. No one dared to breathe. If I hadn't known better, I would have sworn time itself had stopped.
That's impossible. She can't be alive. Not after what we...
The astral named Lilith should be long at the bottom of the skies. Or so I was told. How could she have survived?
Is it just you, or does this guy actually sound like Kiro? Like one of the random NPC dudes? Sandalphon? I can't hear my own voice that way, so I don't know.
We fly. Now.
I'll take that as a compliment, though, because Sandalphon's really cool.
The Grand Cipher lifted off with a complement of stupefied passengers. As we pulled away from Fondom's blood-red skies, the clouds seemed to part into a sneering grin.
He sounds like a huskier Kiro. I'll take that as a compliment. Oh, we have to fight Angra Mainyu. I don't like fighting Angra Mainyu. No one likes fighting Angra Mainyu. Vulcan Bola's current form manifested as a result of the constant dread that people couldn't let go of. Roland and the Islanders decided to build an observatory in Fondom that would double as a spot for worship. With 4 elements accounted for, the situation seems under control until Roland reveals that Lilith may still be alive. Can I actually get my party members to this one? I kind of wish the Fate episode fights were Sandalphon solo, just so I could have fun with him on my own, but at least they won't be as hard that way with all my OP CPUs.
We raced to the top of the tower as fast as our legs could carry us, though none of us heard even a whisper of Lilith's voice. It was entirely possible, perhaps even preferable, that the scouting team had merely imagined the voice. Our vigilant eyes spotted nothing out of the ordinary, at least not in the physical sense. But something was there. I could feel it. It finally dawned on me. The trickles of dissonance I had felt on each of the 4 islands we visited were congregating at this location.
Did you sense something, Sandalphon?
As a matter of fact, I noticed a faint disturbance on the other islands, as if something somewhere was siphoning off energy.
That doesn't sound good.
According to Roland and the captain, the phenomenon I described was strikingly similar to the way Lilith raised Vayoi. Vayoi was an amalgamation of debris and primal crystals absorbed from across Sega Grande. Why was history repeating itself?
Now that you mention it, I think I sense Angra Mainyu. Its projected body disappeared when Lilith fused with it, but maybe its real one is still out there.
You mean to suggest we defeated a mere spare of Angra Mainyu?
A mere spare. Even if it wasn't the Primal's true form, I could not believe Lilith would risk such a fusion. Taking in a primal core was no simple matter, and in the worst cases, it meant a permanent transfiguration, astral or not. However, Lilith had reverted to her original form after the battle, lending further credence to the fact that the crew had only fought a duplicate.
Let's assume that Angra Mainyu's real body survived without a scratch. It won't take action without commands. Someone must be pulling its strings, ordering it to absorb primal crystals. But there's only one person who would want that.
Right on cue, a spine-chilling voice cut through the very air itself.
Place the crystals upon Vayoi's altar. Open the gate beyond the stars.
That was Mother. And yet, the Dark Prophetess was nowhere to be found. With her disembodied voice still ringing in our ears, we drew our weapons, ready to battle with an enemy we couldn't see.
Angra Mainyu, O door to worlds beyond, claim this offering.
Her voice is coming from another dimension. So she is alive.
A rematch with an astral thought dead was the farthest thing from anyone's mind.
Id, I know this must be painful for you, but we must cross into the alternate dimension and destroy Lilith and Angra Mainyu once and for all.
I know. Don't worry about me.
You make it sound like opening a dimensional gate is as easy as turning a doorknob.
My good dragon, don't you remember this little beauty?
Roland proudly held up a transceiver. He boasted that it was capable of tracing where the energy signature was at its strongest. And Angra Mainyu would be lurking at the convergence point of the streams of dissonance. As soon as Roland flipped a switch on the transceiver, the sword of Eos in the captain's hand began to emit a radiant glow.
After you, Captain. Roger that.
The captain followed the signal, and with a weighty swing of their sword, a crack appeared in the air above the ground. The cut, however, was still too shallow. Allow me. I focused the power of the Primarchs into the crack etched by the captain. With a shrill crash, the gate to another dimension shattered open.
Fell the interlopers. Guide them to oblivion.
Lilith's voice rang crystal clear from within the rift. She was waiting on the other side of the threshold.
Follow me!
Roland took charge and leapt into the gaping fissure. We were right behind him. Come hell or high water, we were putting an end to this astral's incessant machinations.
Oh boy, here we go.
There's no way out. To oblivion.
I hear Lilith, but she's nowhere to be found.
We can leave her be for now. Focus on the colossal primal in front of us.
I can't hit anything, my CPU's killed him too fast.
You're through. Come, Crimson Thorn.
Keep up.
Let's patch you up.
Not bad.
Catch. You're through. Show yourself. Stop hiding.
Just the start.
Why is she repeating herself over and over? This is absurd.
Lovely camera angle.
Incoming. Get ready to dodge.
Look how Lyria just has a little bubble.
Impressive.
On the double.
My CPUs are too strong, I can't do anything.
No way out. You're through.
Rest in peace.
Farewell, Lilith. It's finally over.
Thanks for the stretch, Lark.
How about a relaxing cup of coffee? Once we had pacified Angra Mainyu, Roland began the rites to seal it away.
You're free now, Angra Mainyu. You won't be used for evil anymore. You can finally sleep peacefully.
It wasn't quite a eulogy, but hopefully it was enough of a goodbye. As the rift drew to a close, Angra Mainyu pulsed with light, a final sigh of relief as it was released from its torment.
As I'm sure you've all surmised, Lilith was never here to begin with. We were listening to an echo that she left behind using magic.
Then she's really gone. That's some comfort, at least.
I'm sorry, Id.
Sleep well, Angra Mainyu. May you never be exploited for nefarious acts ever again.
Well, I'm glad we put that matter to rest. Now that Vayoi has lost its power source, I dare say it'll crumble and fall to the bottom of the skies.
It would not be in the Sky Realm's best interest to allow this massive structure to crash into the Crimson Horizon. I envisioned what would happen if Pandemonium or Etemenanki crashed into the Crimson Horizon. All scenarios resulted in cataclysmic repercussions.
Not to worry. Just as Voyoi was assembled from assorted items across Sega Grande, so too should it dissolve into myriad vestiges before making a descent. Though I do feel sorry for the otherworlders residing in the Crimson Horizon. They won't be too thrilled when our trash rains down on them.
That would require an apology. Perhaps I should bring confections when the opportunity availed itself.
Yes, let's bring confections to the demons in the other world. Because, you know, they're all so very kind.
That is, assuming the denizens of the otherworld were willing to sit down over a cup of coffee. As opposed to tearing me to shreds, of course.
Hey Leon, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in today.
Come to view the request?
Sandalphon had felt currents of dissonance on each of the islands. They seemingly converge at Vayoi's summit. The crew hears Lilith's voice at the peak, so they open a dimensional gate to confront her. However, Lilith is truly gone. It's actually Angra Mainyu, obeying Lilith's lingering commands. The crew defeats and seals the Primal, which should help the future stability of the Tetra elements.
In the wake of our element-stabilizing endeavors, I flew high into Sega Grande's atmosphere to better evaluate the elemental health of the Skydom. Recovery was slow, but it was progressing in the right direction. If Skydwellers and primal beasts could return to living in harmony with one another, the elements should no doubt re-establish equilibrium. I visited the islands again to see how the people were faring. Blessed by the warm sun, smiles were abloom in the townships of the Einstedo archipelago. Meanwhile, the monks of Melos were still busy mopping up the flood that swept through the ravines of Lotania. A contingent of workers led by the family Zathba had unearthed a fair section of Dali's ruins. Several small encampments had already sprung up to capitalize on potential profits. Flights to Fondom from Folka and Seed Hollow had begun service. Construction on the observatory was coming along nicely as well. Come laughter, tears, or pain, Skydwellers persevere. They learn to grow and evolve. They possess unlimited potential to overcome any manner of hardship that stands in their way. I witnessed that firsthand from my travels with the captain and crew. As the Supreme Primarch, it was my duty to watch over the people from high above. But maybe I was destined for another purpose. Skydwellers are strong. A time will come when they no longer need the aid of archangels, or any other such being. And as we fade in importance, we will be forgotten. Did he continue to advance Skydweller evolution, knowing full well it may lead to the end of his purpose? The ability to forget is a double-edged sword. The fear of being forgotten by someone important to you is unimaginably terrifying. When the primals of Sega Grande no longer had a role to play, they began to disappear from everyone's lives. What if these primals had influenced the elements in a bid to affirm their own existence? A final, desperate cry to the world, announcing they were still here. Before me, the sky stretched out under a blinding sun, blue as far as the eye could see. The world's cruelty wrenched my heart. Lucifer once wondered what makes the sky blue. I guess I have a question of my own for the skies. Would mortals and primals ever stop fighting? Could we ever live in harmony?
Sandalphon revisits each island and observes that the various plans to rebuild faith in the primals appear to be progressing smoothly. He muses that the Skydweller's infinite potential will allow them to overcome anything, rendering the Archangel's aid redundant over time. But until that bittersweet parting arrives, he'll continue to protect the skies.
Oh, am I a bit early? The portrait we posed for on the docks of Folka was complete, so I had plans to meet the others at the church to collect it. However, its humble halls were empty. It would seem my fellow crewmates were comfortable with being fashionably late. Don't get the wrong idea. I have absolutely no interest in vanity. I was, however, curious which colors the artist had selected to paint the sky. Once I'd confirmed this detail, I would be on my way.
And to think this entire journey for Sandalphon's Fate episode started because they saw a painting that had a little bit of a weird color on the sky.
But it was quiet in the church. Somber, you could say. Coffee would go well with this atmosphere. What I wouldn't give for just one cup, though I wasn't sure we could afford the detour for such a simple luxury. They're late. I'd grown used to waiting on mortals. There was nothing to do except figure out the best way to pass the time. I could reanalyze our previous battle with Angra, or I could also...
Sleepyhead.
Was someone calling me?
Rise and shine, Sleepyhead.
I was still groggy coming out of my accidental nap, but my ears were in working order. A cacophony of voices made sure of that.
Heard you're a coffee fiend, so I brought you my famous Zothba blend. Stuff will knock your socks off.
You failed to mention it was brewed with natural water melted from the purest snow of Lotania. I dare you to find a fresher source.
Ariakas, welcome to the stream today. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you so much for all the gift subs. Thank you so much for paying it forward. I really appreciate it. Good to see you.
Sandalphon, my boy, how do you feel about sponge cake?
Try some of Seed Hollow's finest flower wine. Go on, take a swig straight from the bottle.
All right. Let the poor guy get his bearings, everyone. He did just wake up.
Somebody's popular.
What had I done to deserve this? Think, Sandalphon. First you came to the church to receive a painting, and then...
You had no idea so many people wanted to come thank you, right? No wonder you're surprised.
I did not think I had done anything to warrant such an outpouring of gratitude. The children of man fuss over everything.
Look at it this way. If it weren't for you, we never would have noticed all the weirdness in the skies. You rock, dude!
As I fumbled for an excuse to escape the throng of well-wishers, Sierra Carte entered the church.
My goodness. We have ourselves quite the turnout here.
Turnout? What was this, a party?
And now, for the moment you've been waiting for. Voila!
The merchant presented me with a board wrapped in cloth. I gingerly removed it, only to be met with the shock of a lifetime. Lucifer? No. I felt as if my eyes were betraying me.
Huh. That wasn't exactly the reaction I was expecting.
Lyria and Vern peered over my shoulder.
Wow, you look so handsome, Sandalphon.
My identity as the Supreme Primarch had never been revealed to the artist, yet her intuitive eye still captured my hidden essence.
If you want, I could arrange for a replacement. No questions asked. Customer satisfaction is my #1 priority.
No, that won't be necessary. I'll take it. The pure arrogance of mistaking myself for Lucifer. I must have been drowsier than I let on. Yet somehow, it felt right. Regardless, I still had one outstanding issue with the portrait. Where would I hang it up?
Where would you hang it up? You have a coffee shop on the Grand Cipher. Oh, they actually showed us the portrait. Well, that's nice. Wasn't there like a portrait? There was a portrait in someone else's Fate episode that we never got to see, right? Or no, there was like a drawing in someone else's Fate episode that they mentioned, but we never got to see. I like how he has the white wings in this one too. Why can't I have the white wings for Sandalphon? That's nice. We actually got to see the portrait. I mean, this probably the reason why there's a portrait here is probably because they're just taking advantage of the new photo mode in this game, because there's like a painting filter. So it's obviously just the screenshot with the painting filter on top of it, but it's still nice. It's nice.
Have a nice day.
We got rare spirits, and not the kind that want to harm.
Can I have a second?
Like it's if I went like this, and then did the actually zoom in. and then did the paint effect. Like they just did this. It's very pretty though. Hey Fate, welcome to the stream. Wings of Virtuous White pastel version. This is a portrait of United Heroes and their airship. The gorgeous blue skies of Zega Grande have never been captured so vividly on canvas until now. One can even feel the gentle breeze that sweeps across the airship's deck. The glorious peace now afforded to the masses was won by the various skyfarers depicted in the painting's foreground, and they certainly deserve to be at the center of attention. One skyfarer in particular, with his translucent wings of pure white, bears a countenance full of love for the sky realm, as if it were inherited from the heavens. It is the face of reassurance, one that affirms its owner's promise to protect the skies. All who gaze upon this masterpiece inevitably offer up a prayer for good measure. It was this one. It was the Cagliostro one, right? Yeah. There were paintings in that one too that we never got to see. So we have a new journal entry for the Tetra elements. And then the Primal Beast Pandemonium. And then for Kanan. That was nice. So I feel like Sandalphon's Fate episodes, they were a little bit longer than the other ones because there was so much lore packed into them. It really feels like an epilogue, kind of like how Id's felt like an epilogue because they conclude with fighting Angra Mainyu and hearing Lilith again. So it kind of like brings the whole story to a close, plus revisiting all the islands and kind of seeing what everyone's up to. It was a little bit more on the dry side because like a lot of the lore we got from it was mostly just about Zega Grande, and it was stuff that we could probably surmise or guess about already, or things that weren't really that important to understanding how the game works. But it was still interesting. Because of that, I felt like it didn't really focus on Sandalphon too much as a character. Like we did, if you're new to this game and you don't know who Sandalphon is, it does give you a good glimpse at who he is and what his backstory is. They described in pretty good length his backstory in those first 3 Fate episodes. Personally, like of course, because he's the Supreme Primarch, his Fate episode was going to be something that was a little bit more on the epic side. But I kind of feel like it would have been nice if it was a little bit more slice of lifey. Like I'm just thinking about Cagliostro's, how Cagliostro was an all-powerful alchemist with incredible abilities, but her Fate episodes were more grounded, and they were more about her relationship with coming across an NPC that had a similar life struggle to her and helped her bring out that part of herself. So I think it would have been nice if Sandalphon's Fate episode was something more like Sandalphon comes across, let's say, a coffee shop, since he likes coffee so much. He comes across a coffee shop owner or something like that, and he becomes friends with them and then starts working at the cafe, you know, kind of like one of those slice of life Granblue events. And then maybe he comes across the coffee shop owner's, I don't know, children. Maybe the coffee shop owner has 2 children, an older one and a younger one, and the coffee shop owner pays a lot of attention to the older kid because he wants him to inherit the coffee shop and it's all gonna be on his one day, and then he like all but ignores the younger kid because he is not as important because he's not inheriting the coffee shop. But if something were to happen to the older kid, then the younger kid would inherit it, and then maybe Sandalphon gets some kind of connection with the younger kid because he feels like he understands him being a spare and not being valued for who he was. Like I think something like that would have been a better direction for the Fate episode, but I get what they were going for. And considering that at this current point in time, Sandalphon is the last character to be added to this game, it kind of feels like they're putting a nice bow on top of everything and wrapping it all up. That being said, like I still hope they continue to update this game and add extra characters. I don't even care if they add extra raids, but just extra characters would be nice. I understand it can be quite a lot of work, but this game definitely had a bigger show of support than they imagined when it came out. And it'd be a shame because obviously this game relies a lot upon like online play that, you know, months down the line no one's playing this game anymore and it's hard to do, you know, random matchups with random people. Would be a bit of a shame to see. So I hope that they continue to add characters. I feel like one obstacle that might face them, and it's an obstacle that's easily remedied, but the fact that they added Sandalphon and then concluded with his Fate episode, which is a big, like, you know, concluding show of everything, plus they already added Lucilius in the game and a harder version of Lucilius, it's almost like they hit a ceiling, right? It's like, where do we go from here? Because in the mobile game, like, Lucilius is kind of like, right now, like the top of the top hardest raid, but only because they added a new version of him. It's been a while since they added the first version of Lucilius, and since then they have other raids they could add, like Revan's raids, for example. But lore-wise, there isn't really too many places they can go up from Lucilius here. Like, yeah, they could add Beelzebub or Belial, or add things like Diaspora or Agastya or stuff like that too, but in terms of like power scaling in universe, it's hard to go higher than Lucilius or just keep scaling up from there. Plus, a lot of these characters require a bit of backstory. Like with Lucilius and also Piet-A, right? They also have special backstories in the game that aren't related to Zega Grande. So fighting them, they had to kind of do a quick like insertion of, oh, a meteorite has fallen, let's go check it out. Or something like, oh, let's reminisce about Lucilius and relive a fight that presumably happened in the past for the mobile game players. So unless they make all their new fights, you know, reminiscing about past fights from the mobile game, it's going to be hard to kind of just keep ramping it up, right? But that's why I said I would like them to keep adding characters to the game. Maybe they don't necessarily need to add extra raids, or maybe just adding more raids, kind of like Behemoth, where when they added Behemoth, it wasn't the strongest raid in the game, it was on the Proud difficulty, but it was still very doable. Add more fights like that, right? I think it'd be fun to have a lot of that. Granblue has such a rich lore and history and characters and wealth of things to choose from, and of course this game introduced a lot of extra people to Granblue as well who have not played it before and put it on people's radars. I think is really good. So I would like them to continue updating this. And we know the Granblue Versus is going to continue adding characters. There's going to be another season, right? Even if they haven't confirmed it yet, everyone knows there's going to be more seasons, more characters to that game. Do it with this one too. I think it'd be fantastic. It'd be a real shame if this character, or this game, you know, fell off. And please, give us a fast fist fighter that's not Gandagoza, please. I'll take anything, please. But it's been fun. I will try those 4 new raids with some friends, either on stream or off stream, and then probably upload that as a video. Plus, we'll need to farm out Lucilius and get some, you know, better gear or better sigils on some of my characters. Would be kind of nice, but that's something to talk about in the future. Yeah, like, even better would be cool if they added, like, an entire, I don't know, expansion story mode. Kind of like, I mean, I don't think they need to do another, like, you know, Granblue Versus, then Granblue Versus Rising, but it'd be nice to keep adding stuff, you know? Even if it's just little things. Even if it's just adding extra characters without adding extra raids, I would be fine with that too. But, you know, more content the better. We'll see. We'll see. So, thank you so much for coming to the stream. I probably won't be doing another Granblue Relink stream for a while, depending on when I schedule doing those other fights with friends, but we will be seeing some of that in the future, and I'll probably still continue playing this game, you know, on the side for fun, farming out things, getting things for my characters, all that stuff. Yeah, they put so much time and development into developing this game. This game was in development hell for quite a few years, so it would be a shame for it to just kind of end off, and I know it's been doing much better than they thought, so fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yeah, but thank you everyone for coming by. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the subs today as well. Oh, thank you for all the bits, Tomo. I really appreciate it. Now, only one of my friends is streaming right now, so we'll give them a raid. Right after all these bits finish firing. Thank you, Tomo. I really appreciate it. Oh, thank you for the frogs. It's been nice. I like doing afternoon streams once in a while, but I can only do them on the weekends. And I can only do them when I know the stream's not going to run more than 4 hours, usually. Because otherwise I have to cut it off early or start early. So we're going to raid one of my friends. Only one of my friends is a streamer right now, but we've never raided them before. Their name is Violet Sky. They're kind of a new streamer, but they're also an artist. So right now they're doing some art on stream, so go give them some support and say hello. I'll see you guys later this week. I posted the schedule. I probably won't stream again until Wednesday because I'm busy on Monday and Tuesday, unless things change. We'll continue doing some more Paper Mario 1000 Year Door Remake post-game stuff, some of the new additions for the remake. We'll be doing that later this week. So, see you then. Have a great week, guys, and take care. Bye, Froggy friends.